continue to live through millions of years unless threatened by natural or anthropogenic extinction. Each and every organism can live only for a certain period of time, and the period from the birth to the natural death of an organism represents its lifespan. For example, the average lifespan of a dog is 10 to 13 years. The average lifespan of a horse is 25 to 30 years. The average lifespan of a Culex pipiens is 6 to 7 days. And the average lifespan of Apis mellifera is 122 to 152 days. The average lifespan of a rice plant is 3 to 4 weeks, and that of a banyan tree is over 200 years. Isn't it both interesting and intriguing to note that the lifespan of different organisms may be as short as a few days or as long as a few hundred years? The lifespans of organisms are not necessarily related to the sizes of the organisms. Whatever be the lifespan, death is a certainty. That is, no organism or individual is immortal. Given this reality, you might be wondering that life has existed for thousands of years on Earth, and some processes must be responsible for this continuity, right? Well, here, reproduction becomes a vital process, without which species cannot survive for long. Each individual leaves its progeny by sexual or asexual means. So, what is reproduction? Well, reproduction is defined as a biological process in which an organism gives rise to young ones, known as offspring, similar to itself. These offsprings grow, mature, and in turn produce new offsprings. Thus, there is a cycle of birth, growth, and death. Reproduction enables the continuity of the species generation after generation. As discussed earlier, reproduction can be of two types: asexual mode of reproduction and the sexual mode of reproduction. So students, in this module, we will discuss about the asexual mode of reproduction. So, what is asexual reproduction? Well, in this mode of reproduction, a single individual parent is capable of producing an offspring. As a result, the offspring that are produced are not only identical to one another, but are also exact copies of their parent. Let us discuss some features of asexual reproduction. First, it involves a single parent. Second, there is no gamete formation or fertilization. Third, the whole process takes place in a short period of time. Fourth, rapid multiplication and growth happens. Fifth, there is limited variation. Here, let me tell you something interesting. The term clone is used to describe morphologically and genetically similar individuals. Organisms choose to reproduce asexually by different means, such as first, fission, second, budding, third, fragmentation, fourth, spore formation, and fifth, vegetative propagation. Here, we already know these modes of reproduction, right? So let us discuss asexual reproduction in various organisms. Asexual reproduction is common among single-celled organisms and in plants and animals with relatively simple organizations. In protists and monorins, the organism or the parent cell divides by mitosis into two to give rise to new individuals. Thus, in these organisms, cell division is itself a mode of reproduction. Also, single-celled organisms such as amoeba, paramecium, etc. reproduce by binary fission. In binary fission, a cell divides into two halves and each rapidly grows into an adult. Here, let me tell you something interesting. Under the unfavorable condition, the amoeba withdraws its pseudopodia and secretes a three-layered hard covering or cyst around itself. This phenomenon is termed as encystation. When the favorable conditions return, the encysted amoeba divides by multiple fission and produces many minute amoeba or pseudopodiospores. The cyst wall bursts out and the spores are liberated in the surrounding to grow into many amoebae. This phenomenon is known as sporulation. We have already studied in class 11 that kingdom fungi and simple plants such as algae reproduce through special asexual reproductive structures, and the most common of these is the zoospores. So, what are zoospores? Well, a zoospore is a motile asexual spore that uses a flagellum for locomotion. Other common asexual reproductive structures are conidia, which are found in penicillium, buds found in hydra, and gemmules found in sponges. In yeast, as you can see here, the division is unequal and small buds are produced that remain attached initially to the parent cell and eventually get separated and mature into new yeast organisms or cells. And this is known as, yes, you guessed it right, this is known as budding. Apart from these, in some organisms, the body breaks into distinct segments or fragments, and each fragment grows into an adult capable of producing a new offspring. This mode of asexual reproduction is known as fragmentation, and it is commonly found in hydra, cyanobacteria, sponges, some annelid worms, sea stars, etc. Now let us discuss asexual reproduction in plants. Well, asexual reproduction in plants is termed as vegetative propagation. In plants, the units of vegetative propagation such as runner, rhizome, sucker, tuber, offset, and bulb are all capable of giving rise to new offspring, and these structures are called as vegetative propagules. Here, the formation of these structures does not involve two parents, hence the process is asexual. Well, you might have seen small buds or plants growing out of potato, ginger, etc. These plantlets in the plants rise from the nodes present in the modified stems of these plants. When these nodes come in contact with damp soil or water, they produce roots and finally new plants. Similarly, buds arise from the notches present at the margins of leaves of bryophyllum. This ability is fully exploited by the gardeners and farmers for commercial propagation of such plants. Food crops such as cassava, sweet potato, sugarcane, pineapple, banana, onion, etc. are propagated vegetatively. Plants produced in this way have characteristics identical to the parent plants. And this is the main and the most important advantage of vegetative propagation. So students, in our next module, we will discuss sexual reproduction and the advantages of sexual reproduction over asexual reproduction.